Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Buggs Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Cantea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Cantea, your Italian dining will change forever.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hello and welcome as we start another week of the Clarence Buggs Show. Here's hoping, as always, that your weekend was an absolutely fabulous one. If not, well, as we are fond of saying each and every Monday, right about this time of the day, good Lord willing, you will still be here when the next weekend comes our way, and you'll have the opportunity to try it all over again. We start today's show talking about an anticipated press conference at 1 o'clock this afternoon. The commander of the U.S. Coast Guard, Will Watson, Sea Corps Marine President John Gellert, and Marine Accident Investigator Andrew Ehlers will address the press today at 1 o'clock, talking about the ongoing Sea Corps power response efforts. This briefing, again, scheduled for 1 o'clock this afternoon, will take place at the Greater Lafourche Port Commission in Cutoff, Louisiana. Family members say that they are still hopeful and are very, very prayerful, as you might imagine, that it will not be a recovery mission, but instead be a rescue mission. So far, 5 bodies have been recovered. 4 of them have officially been identified. 63-year-old David Ledette of Thibodaux, Louisiana. 53-year-old Anthony Hartford of New Orleans, Louisiana. 55-year-old James Wallingsford of Gilbert, Louisiana. And 69-year-old Ernest Williams of Arnoldville. Some 14 divers continued yesterday. Rescue efforts heading out to search level 3 of that partially sunken ship. By the way, the good folks with the Cajun Navy are also helping out in the search in that regard. For those of you that are members of the community of faith, if you would, I know without a doubt that the family members involved and the family members of all the individuals that are assisting in this operation would consider it, I'm sure, a personal favor if you would be so kind as to keep them all in both your thoughts and your prayers. Again, that press conference is set for 1 o'clock this afternoon in Cutoff, Louisiana. It was a deadly weekend all across this country. And sadly, Louisiana was not exempt. Speaking of keeping Louisiana folks in your thoughts and in your prayers, 5 people shot in an incident in Shreveport, Louisiana. And this particular incident, with 2 people facing definitely life-threatening injuries, possibly more out of the 5 that were shot. This incident comes on the heels of 2 other multiple shootings in one day here in America. It is probably why, if you duck, or if you still, for whatever reason, use Google, you will see the story pop up nationally, internationally, everywhere. It is a sad reality that when tragedies of this sort happen, it is a magnet for the gun control crowd. United States Senator John Kennedy probably said it best when he said, "We don't have a gun problem, we've got an idiot problem." And unfortunately, Louisiana, and I know y'all will accept this in the spirit that it's given, Louisiana in no way, shape, or form is excluded when it comes to idiots. 5 people shot, police there still in the process of the investigation, and are asking anyone with any information at all to please let them know. It is a weekend that showed a whole lot of promise for the city of Shreveport, and there is always a possibility that as lockdowns are starting to ease in different places, people start getting out and about more, that you're going to have individuals with pent-up anger, anxiety, whatever, and the least little thing sets them off. I can't imagine on a Sunday of all days, not that it matters to people anymore, that someone would think it's okay, justified, whatever, to open fire on that many people because of whatever the disagreement, the argument happened to be. But such is the nature of the beast these days. It is part and parcel for our society. As a matter of fact, after we take our first break, in today's edition of Now That's Just Stupid, there is yet another incident here in the state of Louisiana that, for my money, is a lot more egregious than the one in Shreveport. Not that the one in Shreveport is not a horrific incident. Please, don't get it twisted. But the one in Laplace, and it's my understanding, this is the second in a year's span where the circumstances surrounding the shooting mirrored what happened not so very long ago. It is a sign of an illness in our society. And It is painful as an American to watch this unfold. Painful on two very prominent fronts. First and foremost, because these are our fellow Americans, and many times it's the innocent in the group that end up paying the harshest penalty, if not the ultimate penalty. But just as painful as that to watch is how we have this group of people, and I know what their ultimate goal and the long-term agenda is, but for many of them, it is only because they have been dumbed down to the fact that they now think an inanimate object is the purveyor of the problem. And if we can just do away with this inanimate object, everyone will be inclined to hold hands, singing Kumbaya, and skip off into the sunset, and it'll be nirvana from there. Nothing, my fellow Americans, could be further from the truth. Not to even mention that the Founding Fathers knew full well what an armed populace would mean for a tyrannical government. I understand many people are frustrated. Many people are heartbroken because gun violence has visited them or their families in recent memory. But at the end of the day, it is still just an inanimate object. It is the individual that wields the object that is the one most deserving of our attention. Just this past weekend in Chicago, 7-year-old in a drive-through at a McDonald's with the father. Guys get out of their car, open fire. She takes 7 bullets and dies. 7 years old. Now, first and foremost, it is my sincere hope that law enforcement in Chicago is flooded with so many calls with information leading to the arrest and conviction of the individuals responsible that they can't track down all the leads. But more important than that, we as individuals need to take a long, hard look at ourselves in the mirror. And unless and until that's done, we don't have a hope of getting out of this anytime soon. We have laws specifically designed to fix this. Only question I have at this point is why aren't we using them to the fullest? Of course, now, some might make the argument that that doesn't fit the narrative. That wouldn't fit the agenda. And at the end of the day, there is a reason why America is the shining beacon on the hill. There's a reason why the liberties and the freedoms that we enjoy, at least for the time being, are the envy of so many others on this planet. I, for one, have dedicated the rest of my life to making sure that as many of them remain intact as possible. Just saying. We've got to get our first break of today's show out of the way. Of course, it is Monday, and that means time for another edition of Now That's Just Stupid. Well, we got a doozy today. We've got one that may be the top 3 of all time. You got to come back and hear this one. You are not going to believe just how stupid some people in America are today. That's up next after our first break on today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
The first big sale of the year is here. The Dream Garage Spring Event is underway at Team Honda. For the first time ever, get $12.50 customer cash on every new 21 Passport, or get 0% for 60 months on every new 21 Pilot at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. Marty, is that monitor there? Oh, it's out as well. Okay. Because I have no way of seeing the graphic. If you are new to the show, new to the station, new to the area, in response to this ever increasing, maddening rush to stupidity in America, we have coined a phrase and a segment each and every Monday, second segment of the show, where we look at how we have now elevated stupidity in this country. The segment entitled, Now That's Just Stupid, is not spelled the traditional way. It is not STUPID. That's normal stupid, okay? STOOPID is taking stupid to an entirely different level. Hence, now that's just stupid. We start in my beloved Louisiana, Laplace, Louisiana, in St. John the Baptist Parish. The St. John the Baptist Parish Sheriff's Office is investigating a mass shooting that left 6 people injured this weekend during a, wait for it, birthday party for a 12-year-old. At approximately 8:30 p.m., Sheriff's Office officers responded to the 600 block of Gulfview Drive in reference to shots fired in the area. Upon arrival, they learned multiple people were shot when verbal confrontations during a child's birthday party led to gunfire. As of yesterday morning, they had not reported any fatalities related to the incident, and no arrests had been made. Now, you've got to ask yourself, and this goes back to, we don't have a gun problem. We've got an idiot problem. What kind of idiot goes to a birthday party for a freaking 12-year-old packing? Who does that? All right, little Johnny, come on, we're going to the party. You ready? I'm ready, Dad. You got the gift? Yeah, I got the gift. What about the card? Did you sign it? Yeah, I signed the card. It's in the envelope, tucked under the wrapping on the gift. Okay, you ready, Daddy? Yeah, I got my keys. Yeah, you know we got to go by Walmart after we leave there. Yeah, got my wallet, got my debit card. Oh, and let me be sure I got my 9mm before we leave. What kind of freaking idiot takes a firearm to a birthday party for a 12-year-old? See, this is the kind of person that the judiciary needs to make an example out of. If you cannot control your emotions at a birthday party for a 12-year-old without shooting 6 freaking people, we have places for people like this. We have places specifically designed for people like that to be held for a long, long time. You have demonstrated in no uncertain terms you don't possess the ability to live among civilized individuals. It's a birthday party for a freaking 12-year-old, and you go packing heat. It might, and I stress might, it might be almost humorous if it weren't so sad and insulting. And what's most insulting to those of us who cherish the right to keep and bear arms, it's idiots like this that the left will trot out time after time after time as a shining example of why we need gun control. No, we don't need gun control. We need idiot control. And at the end of the day, that's how you fix stupid. The next one. The next one, just off the top of my head, I would probably have to pull the scripts from all the shows that I've done. But I got to tell you, over 40 years of broadcasting, this one, just a gut reaction off the top of my head. This is definitely a top 5, if not a top 3. Stupid. Mercer University Associate Professor, wait for it, of Theology, Shaniqua Walker Barnes, has published a book of prayers that she calls Prayers of a Weary Black Woman. In one of the prayers, she specifically asks, quote, "Dear God, help me to hate white people." You heard me right. Quote, "Dear God, please help me to hate white people. I want to stop caring about them, individually and collectively. I want to stop caring about their misguided, racist souls, to stop believing that they can be better, that they can stop being racist." She went on to clarify in the prayer that she's not talking about the white anti-racist individuals who have taken up the struggle against racism with their whole lives, nor is she talking about referring to the ardent racists who plot acts of racial terrorism hoping to start a race war. Those people, quote, "are already in hell. There's no need to waste hatred on them." She goes on further to explain in her prayer that she specifically wants God to help her hate, quote, "the nice ones who don't see color." Quote, "My prayer is that you would help me to hate other white people. You know, the nice ones, the Fox News loving, Trump supporting voters who don't see color but make thinly veiled racist comments about those people." She continues, "The people who are happy to have me over for dinner but alert the neighborhood watch anytime an unrecognized person of color passes their house. The people who welcome black people in their churches in small groups but brand us as heretics if we suggest that Christianity is concerned with the poor and oppressed. The people who politely tell us that we can leave when we call out the racial microaggressions we experience in their ministries. But since I don't have many relationships with people like that, perhaps they're not a good use of hatred either." Lady, you have managed in one fell swoop to snatch from every other contender the title of the biggest racist in America. And by the way, newsflash, associate professor of theology, you don't need God's help. You got this all by yourself. You don't need God's help to help you hate white people. You already got this covered, sister. It's a done deal. You know what's amazing here? For an associate professor of theology, she of all people, you would think, would know that God's word tells us to pray for them that spitefully use us. And for you to ask God, the most loving, caring of all beings, who preaches love, to ask him to help you hate people, pretty much tells us all we need to know. You know, you've heard me say before, everything that comes up does not need to come out. Just because some of y'all had a thought, and I know many of y'all have not had a thought in a long time, but just because you happen to have one floating around, rolling around in your head, does not necessarily mean you need to share it with the rest of the world. It's one thing to think this. It's something else to write it down. It's entirely different to publish it. And oh, by the way, you want to take a guess? Take a wild guess at what political ideology she agrees with. Asking God to help her hate white people. What do you think she is, Democrat or Republican? That's rhetorical. You don't need to answer. We already know. Lib. We already know. Asking God to help you hate white people, and you are an associate professor of theology? Now that is stupid. Bottom of the hour break. We'll get her done. Come back and talk more on the Clarence Buggs Show. Here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Jaguar Nation, we need your help in masking up Louisiana.
Masks help us slow the spread of COVID-19.
During this time, we must continue to wear a mask. Wash your hands and practice social distancing.
It's important that we continue to abide by the CDC's guidelines to stop the spread.
Jaguar Nation, we challenge you to mask up. Go Jags!
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Back to today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. You know, it occurred to me as I was wrapping up the last segment, talking about this doofus asking God, this associate professor of theology, asking God to help her hate white people. Can you imagine what the outcry would be today? If that had been a conservative that published a, quote, prayer asking God to help them hate black people. Can you imagine what the outcry would have been? National, international, wall-to-wall news coverage 24/7, 389 days in a row for a whole year. That's Marty's math. Can you imagine? But we as Americans anymore, we take, quote, racism at face value. And we never take the time to ask, okay, if the shoe were on the other foot, how would I look at this? How would I feel about it? The next time you encounter something in the arena of racism, do your boy Clarence a favor, if you will. Take the time to engage in that exercise, and honestly, if you are capable of being honest with yourself, ask yourself, what would my reaction to this story be if the shoe were on the other foot? I'm willing to bet you, and I am not a betting man, but I'll take odds on this. The reaction that you get from the media and the politicians, if you are honest with yourself after engaging in the exercise of what if the shoe were on the other foot, your reaction is going to be completely different from the media and the politicians. Why is that? Well, they've got an agenda. You're just being honest. That's all. Pure and simple. The entire sports community, particularly the football family in Baton Rouge and all of South Louisiana for that matter, is saddened today after news broke yesterday that beloved longtime football coach Kenny Guillotte passed away yesterday at the age of 76. Coach Kenny first worked as an assistant at Terra High School back in 1974. He helped them, by the way, win the 4A state championship title that year. He also was a head coach at Woodlawn and worked as a college assistant for both Nichols State and McNeese State. But he's probably best known for the 15 seasons that he spent as the head coach at Parkview Baptist. Get this, 15 years as the head coach at Parkview, compiled a record of 164 wins and 31 losses. Over that 15-year span, he won the 3A state championship in 2001, 2007, 2010, and 2012. His final season at Parkview was in 2013, but he remained on as the AD, the athletic director at Parkview, until 2018. Kenny Guillotte was inducted into the Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame in 2016 and had a record of 175-41. That included 9 district titles and 12 quarterfinal appearances. He is an individual that if you know anything at all about high school football in the capital region, the name is familiar. I can't count the number of times I had the opportunity to interact with Coach Guillotte during my sports broadcasting career. And he was truly a maker of men. And you know, I get it. I understand it. For us baby boomers, it is the, quote, season in life where those that help to make, shape, and mold our lives are at the end of theirs. You remember not so very long ago, we said a very fond farewell to Capitol High legendary coach Roman Bates. I mean, that's, it's part and parcel of the human experience. God in his infinite wisdom designed his universe to run that way. Children are supposed to bury their parents. Parents are not supposed to bury their children. That goes against the natural order that God has established for his universe. Not that it ever makes it any easier, but if you're like me, you're one of those individuals that says, well, God, thank you for placing that person in my life for as long as you did, because I am a better person as a result of having known that individual that you blessed me to be around for all that time. Parkview Baptist is an institution unto itself. And I know a lot of folks that are awfully proud of the contributions that Coach Guillotte made to that school and to that football program. And there are tons of young men today who are mourning his passing. If you would, those of you, again, that are members of the community of faith, be so kind as to keep the Guillotte family in both your thoughts and your prayers. As is the case with many individuals, Coach Kenny Guillotte is gone, but it's going to be a mighty long time, as the old folks say, before he's forgotten. God bless you, Coach. Glad to have known you. COVID-19 update. Don't know how many of you saw this story over the past weekend. And for those who didn't, I'm not going to attempt a guess at the percentage of you that, quote, saw this coming. It has been a topic ever since the vaccines were announced, particularly when we got up to the point where there were 3 different vaccines that were being used to vaccinate Americans. The CEO of Pfizer said recently, and this was actually a little while back, but it was only released recently. Albert Bourla, the head of the pharmaceutical company Pfizer, says those who get the 2-shot Pfizer COVID vaccine will, quote, likely need a 3rd shot within about a year's time. Now, this was said in an interview that was recorded back on April 1st, but was only made public late last week. Quote, a likely scenario is that there will be likely a need for a 3rd dose, somewhere between 6 and 12 months. And then from there will be an annual revaccination. But all of that needs to be confirmed. And again, the variants, the different varieties of COVID virus, will play a key role. Those comments came during an interview with Bertha Combs on CNBC back on April 1st. Researchers still don't know exactly how long protection against the virus will last once someone has been fully vaccinated. Pfizer, for their part, has said that they expect their vaccine will offer protection for at least 6 months. If I were to, by some act of magic, be able to talk to the majority of Americans who have been vaccinated, my gut tells me, and I've learned to trust it over the years, my gut tells me the overwhelming majority of those that have already been vaccinated were of the opinion, if I get the shot, I'm done with it, okay? I'll develop antibodies, don't have to worry if I contract it again in the future. I mean, based on the survivability rate and the fact that, I had the vaccine before, I don't have to worry about that. Well, the CEO from Pfizer says you might want to back that bus up and don't take off just yet. What is a little disturbing to some people is that Mr. Boria's comments, Albert Boria, the CEO of Pfizer, says that there's the possibility, his words, not mine, well, I'll read you the quote. A likely scenario is that there will be likely a need for a third dose somewhere between 6 and 12 months, which means conceivably, if you just got your second dose of the Pfizer vaccine, 6 months from now, you may get a notification saying, we need to stick you again. There is, and I'll leave to you to decide the veracity of it, but there's a pretty strong anti-COVID-19 vaccine sentiment among certain parts of the population. Again, I'm not a betting man, but I'll take odds that this news is not going to do much to alleviate the fears of those who already say, thanks, but no thanks. Just saying. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back and put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and we wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
The selection is deep, and the time to get a used car is right now from the Team Automotive Group. Shop and save on over 125 certified vehicles and choose from more than 700 pre-owned vehicles at any of our team locations. Or log on anytime at teamautouse.com.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back for the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. Yeah, I was wondering about that, Marty. Lord help me to hate white people. I was channeling right as the rejoin, the bumper music started. I was thinking about this next story, and immediately, and I'm a baby boomer, I'm not embarrassed by it. I wear it as a badge of honor. And as I was thinking about this next story, I found myself channeling my inner Gomer Pyle. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Any number now, and this is why I make it a point to try to get individuals to think, first of all, secondly, for themselves. I have adopted the mantra throughout my entire talk media career. I'll never tell you what to think, but guaranteed I'll make you think if you are honest with yourself and the world in which we live. I'll make you think. That's my job. Now, once you have been presented the facts, whatever conclusion you come to is fine with me, because you had the facts. I gave you the assumption that you possessed enough intelligence to use the facts to come to whatever conclusion you come to. I also, many times erroneously, figure, okay, you've got the facts, you're honest enough to look at the facts honestly, and if that is the conclusion you still came to, well, God bless you. I mean, it's written in the Constitution, it's America. You got a right to be a moron. So this one, this one didn't surprise me in any way, shape, or form, but it made me sad for my fellow Americans who were hoodwinked, snookered, and bamboozled by the media and the liberal progressives in their agenda. In the wake of the George Floyd tragedy, all across the country, you had cries to do what? Defund the police. You heard it, you saw it, ad nauseum, incessantly, city after city after city, pulling funding from law enforcement. Well, now, big number of those cities that defunded their police departments, major spikes in crime, and citizens now are begging them to restore that funding to the police. You know, you don't have to be Einstein to know ahead of time that the folks that are protecting you from criminals, if there are fewer of them, and of those that remain, they have fewer resources, you're going to have more crime and more criminals. You don't have to be the brightest bulb in anybody's chandelier to figure that out before it happens. Duh. And yet, you let them folk put you in the mindset to go out and march and scream and holler and carry on and demand that you take money from law enforcement. Well, how is that working out for you, Hoss? That's what I thought. You know, there is the human reaction in some of us that says, good for you. You get what you deserve. I'm just being honest. See, other people will think this. They won't tell you, but old Clarence will. One thing, you may not like what you hear, but it's the God-honest truth. Now, if you don't like what you hear, your problem is not with old Clarence. Your problem is with the truth. And that's a different show for a different day. Minneapolis City Council, $9 million slashed from the police budget. Crime, highest in 20 years. And they are in no way, shape, or form by their lonesome. Go around the country. New York, them folk there took $1 billion from the police. Crime, through the roof. Austin, Washington, D.C., Lost with the T, Angeles. Homicides through the roof. In L.A., homicides are up 38%. Austin, Texas, Marty said, that's all. Austin, Texas, homicides up 41%. D.C., 15%. And in New York, homicides are up 48%. I mentioned early in today's show that we don't have a gun problem. We got an idiot problem. Seems like we got idiots on both sides. Just saying. I think I don't have enough time. Maybe tomorrow, we'll talk about the 47,000 folk that showed up for the spring football game in Tuscaloosa. Of course, they don't have a mask mandate there. Is that going to be labeled a super spreader? We'll talk about that tomorrow. In the meantime, this day, just like every other, I give it to you. You're right. America, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And you know I do too. Either way, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.